Let's see what Donald Trump is saying here. I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones have been fighting me for years, especially by the fact that they think it's wonderful for Iran, the number one state sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon because they have one thing in common: low IQs. They're stupid people. They know it. Their families know it. And everyone else knows it too. Oh my God, it's so long. Look at their past. Look at their record. They don't have what it takes, and they never did. They've all been thrown off television, lost their shows, and aren't even invited on TV because nobody cares about them. They're nut jobs, troublemakers, and will say anything necessary for some free and cheap publicity. Now they think they get some clicks because they have third-rate podcasts, but nobody's talking about them, and their views are the opposite of MAGA. Or I wouldn't have won the presidential election in a landslide. Yeah, except you're doing a presidential crash out on a bunch of podcasters, and obviously if they were irrelevant, you wouldn't be doing that. That's number one. Number two, and perhaps even more significant than that, is that you won by a landslide in an election where people were feeling the impact of the inflation and also were frustrated by, the war, the genocide that was going on. And not only that, but you position yourself as a no new wars candidate, and now you're going against that. So yes, on the one hand, you do have your cult who will stand by you no matter what. But it's ridiculous to claim that this is what you won the election for. It's the exact opposite. You are not following through on the spirit of MAGA. Unless, if we're being really honest about it, and Trump certainly is, the spirit of MAGA is whatever Donald Trump wants it to be. And just gave CNN a 100% approval rating of Trump, not hand-flailing fools like Tucker Carlson, who couldn't even finish college. He was a broken man when he got fired from Fox, and he's never been the same. Perhaps you should see a good psychiatrist or Megyn Kelly, who nastily asked me the now famous only Rosie O'Donnell question, or crazy Candace Owens, who accused the highly respected First Lady of France of being a man when she is not. Ooh, you shouldn't bring that up. That's like one of Candace's most popular positions, I think. And you just kind of look like you're defending France, which you never want to be doing. And will hopefully win lots of money in the ongoing lawsuit. Oh my God, you're hoping that a French person that is associated with Macron defeats an American conservative commentator in a lawsuit about false accusations of being trans. Oh my God. This is worse than Trump being like, I love Israel. I put Israel before Americans. From the perspective of his own fan base, he could just get away with saying I love Israel. Israel's the greatest country on earth, whatever, right? They also are evangelical Zionists anyway. But this unironically hits, dude. This hits Trump's base directly on the head. He's coming across like he's in support of not just any Frenchman, but Macron. He's coming across as disparaging a trans panic adjacent rumor, which again, his base eats up. It's very crazy. Actually, to me, the First Lady of France is a far more beautiful woman than Candace. In fact, it's not even close. Crazy. Or bankrupt Alex Jones, who says some of the dumbest things. Okay, again, he's bankrupt because he fought for conservatism from the perspective of Republicans, right? Who says some of the dumbest things and lost his entire fortune, as he should have, for his horrendous attack on the families of Sandy Hook shooting victims, ridiculously claiming it was a hoax. You might as well yell at Alex Jones for being an anti-vaxxer next. What the fuck? Buddy, you went on a show after he did that. Oh my God, what a fake friend he is. I don't know how to feel about this. I feel like this might actually cause a real fissure in the base. It's clear that he's been watching the movement taking place on the independent media side. And he knows that independent media is fully pulled out, right? The podcasters don't fuck with him no more. Even Joe Rogan is anti-Israel now, or anti-Israel curious at least. He's clearly been bottling up all of this anger and resentment about his most loyal servants in independent media. And he's basically lost them. Who does he have on the Republican side, on the independent media side? Who does he have remaining? Ben Shapiro? Ben Shapiro's done. He's dead. He's got nothing. It doesn't make any sense. He's got Cat Turd and Erica Kirk and Ben Shapiro. Patrick Bet-David, I guess. This is the bridge day he was talking about. He's burning all of them. Yeah, it turns out he's not burning bridges in Tehran. He's burning bridges in the United States of America. These so-called pundits are losers, and they always will be. Now, fake news CNN, the failing New York Times, and all the other radical left news organizations are hailing them and giving them positive press for the first time in their lives. They're not MAGA. They're losers just trying to latch on MAGA. As president, I could get them on my side anytime I want to, but when they call, I don't return their calls because I'm too busy on world and country affairs. Oh my God. He sounds like such a bitch. I'm too busy doing presidential work. I'm too busy being president. I'm dealing with the country and the world. I don't have any time except for writing this long effort post about them. They go nasty just like Marjorie Trader Brown, but I no longer care about that stuff. Yeah, even though I'm talking about it clearly, and it definitely do care about it quite a bit. I only care about doing the right for our country. MAGA is about winning and strength in not allowing Iran to have nuclear weapons. MAGA is about making America great again. And these people have no idea how to do that, but I do, because the United States is now the hottest country anywhere in the world. President Donald J. Trump. This is the dominoes, dude. This is the dominoes falling, right? Like the events that have unfolded so far have led to this real fissure. First, it was the Epstein stuff, right? Donald Trump comes out and talks shit about Jeffrey Epstein and like farms the conspiracy right, and then totally pivots away from it. Yeah, this was the reason why he's coming after Tucker. We'll watch that first. Tucker cooked his ass in a way that I think is actually pretty thoughtful, weirdly enough. I still don't trust him, obviously. I still think what Tucker I know what the game is right now, by the way. I think what Tucker Carlson is doing is establishing as much legitimacy and credibility as possible in the anti-Israel flank so that he can either personally run and take over the MAGA base, which he will be able to, regardless of what Trump is saying right now, or potentially he will lend that credibility to like a JD Vance. He's already positioned himself as like claiming that there are voices inside of the White House that are actively fighting against Donald Trump waging war in Iran at the behest of Israel. And you can tell he's talking about JD Vance without openly saying it. I think Tucker Carlson is either going to lend his credibility to JD Vance that he has developed in this space. He will be either a kingmaker or he will run himself.
Who do you think you are? You're tweeting out the F word on Easter morning? You'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah. So obviously you're mocking the religion of Iran. Okay. If you seek a religious war, that's a good idea. But by the way, no decent person mocks other people's religions. You may have a problem with the theology. Presumably you do if it's not your religion, and you can explain what that is. But to mock other people's faith is to mock the idea of faith itself. And
Dude, he is so... God. I can feel as soon as this is published, as soon as this video is published, I can literally sense every Bangladeshi unk spreading this far and wide in every WhatsApp group you have ever thought of, and many you will never even see. This is a nuclear bomb for the Ummah. The entire Islamic world saw a white man who looks white as shit, by the way, like not just any white man, but one of the whitest, sitting in his log cabin, wearing a poplin shirt, shitting on the president for disrespecting Islam. I'm telling you right now, every Muslim unk will forever be a fedayeen for Tucker Carlson. Like, they already love Jackson Hinkle, right? They love Jackson Hinkle. And they now forever will demonstrate absolute loyalty to Tucker Carlson.
Should never mock that, because at its core is the acknowledgement that we are not in charge of the universe. We did not build it. We won't be here at the end of it. We can destroy life. We cannot create it because we are not God. The message of all faith.
Yeah, there's two things that will give you forever praise from Muslim unks and aunties all around the world. If you're a white guy or a Christian and you revert to Islam, it's over. It doesn't matter how fake or phony it is. Andrew Tate is a great example of this. He never actually converted to Islam at all. He just simply said it, and then everybody loved it. They literally went crazy mode for him. Muslims love a white Christian or just any Christian converting to Islam. They will literally put you on the highest pedestal possible. That's number one. Number two, if you defend against Islamophobia, if you defend Muslims against Islamophobia, if you defend the faith, oh my God, as a white guy, as a Christian, oh my God, is the highest praise of all time.
At the biggest picture level is the message in our Bible, which is you are not God. And only if you think you are do you talk this way. But it's not just mockery of Islam. And no president should mock Islam. That's not your job. This is not a theocracy. We don't go to war with other theocracies to find out which theocracy is more effective. We are not a theocracy. And God willing, we never will be, because theocracies corrupt the religion. No, this is a mockery not just of Islam. It's a mockery of Christianity. To send out a tweet with the F word on Easter morning promising the murder of civilians and then saying praise be to Allah without explaining any of it, you are mocking me and every other Christian because we're Christians. We can't support that. That is evil. That is an intentional desecration of beauty and truth, which is the definition of evil.
Yeah, no, this is perfectly crafted, right? Perfectly tailored message. He establishes position of authority as like a true Christian who loves God and loves Christianity and shits on the excesses of Trump. But here are the other reasons, right? Like, number one, Candace Owens, the 25th Amendment needs to be invoked. He's a genocidal lunatic. Our Congress and military need to intervene. We are beyond madness. Candace Owens said that, 114 likes. I can't even like it because I'm blocked by Candace Owens. Candace Owens, unblock me. I'm a clandestine operator. I've given you money. Please. Then Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly also had some choice words about the predicament in Iran, right? Let's hear what she had to say.
I don't know about you, but I am sick of this shit. I'm sick of it. Can't he just behave like a normal human? I mean, honestly, like the president, 3D chess, shut up. Fucking shut up about that shit. You don't threaten to wipe out an entire civilization. We're talking about civilians just casually in a social media post. You know, like I am the first to try to understand Trump and his strategy and to not freak out over his weird social media posts and language that is loose and incendiary. Truly, I've lived with it for 10 plus years. I learned it the hard way when I was on the receiving end of it for 9 months. And truly, I think that was a gift to me in many ways because it helped me really come to understand what he does with his social media. But this is completely irresponsible and disgusting. This is wrong. It's wrong. He should not be doing it. I don't care that it's his negotiation tactic is to kill an entire country full of civilians, men, women, and children. An American president so that the Strait of Hormuz will be opened. It's just wrong. It's not hard to say it. It's not hard to recognize it. I wish he would stop doing this.
For the record, some of you will remember Megyn Kelly defending the concept of pedophilia in an effort to justify Trump's allegiance with Jeffrey Epstein. She did that famously, right? So you might be asking yourself why this is a bridge too far. And to all of you, I say, it's because Israel is so unpopular that it's becoming unpopular in the only resilient base of support for Israel in this country, not Jews, mind you. Many of you might think Jews are the most supportive of Israel. It's not correct. This is not the correct assessment for two reasons. Number one, not that many Jews. Okay. Number two, even Jews are split on the issue of Israel and defending Israel. There's one group, however, that is massive and has outsized influence in the base of support of the Republican Party. And they, at least until recently, were not split on the issue of Israel. And I say recently because there's a fissure there as well. And that is evangelicals, white evangelicals. Now white evangelicals are also separating themselves from Israel. And it feels like Donald Trump is the last to notice, but these guys are noticing it. So they know the ship is sinking and they're pulling out.
Like, he can't negotiate without doing this? What does that say about him? What does that say about the position that our country is in right now in these negotiations? He's got to say this. He can't be a dignified, strong leader without threatening a bunch of war crimes.
Yeah, no, that's it. She knows the Iran war is unpopular. It will be reflected on in an unpopular way. And so she's pulling out.
Learn it.
I can't believe I find myself agreeing with every word of this from Megyn Kelly. Thank you, Megyn Kelly, for saying what everyone is thinking. She went on Piers Morgan.
Trump watched us learn it. And so what led Trump, at 79 years old, to sit in there in that situation room when Bibi Netanyahu was seated as an equal?
Yeah.
Trump didn't even sit at the head of the table. Trump sat at the side of the table and Bibi was across from him as an equal in the American Situation Room. What led him to sit there and buy what that guy was selling hook, line, and sinker?
I wonder.
When every other president was able to see through that liar. What was it? Because he was told the next day by our own top advisors, from the chairman of the Joint Chiefs to the Secretary of State to the vice president, that these are lies and that these objectives are not going to be attainable. Don't believe him. We might be able to wipe out the Ayatollah, not regime change, Ayatollah. And we might be able to decimate some portion of their missiles and their military. Okay, that's true. But the goals as stated by Trump when we actually did pull the trigger were all over the board. And to this moment, he's pushing the BS claim that we affected regime change. No, we didn't. It's the same regime, just different players. There isn't somebody more moderate in there at all. We have no reason to believe that. In fact, it looks like the Iranian Revolutionary Guard is in control now, which is far more radical. And the fatwa that had allegedly been issued by the Ayatollah on developing nukes is gone. Iran is more powerful economically. It controls the strait and now is demanding the lifting of all sanctions against it. And what Trump did with that 10-point plan was go from Monday saying, no, not good, to Tuesday saying, very workable, we can do it, as a means of saving face to bail off of his insane threats about annihilating an entire civilization. So I don't know how we got here, Piers. I'd like to know just as much as anybody else, but all I can think in my head, based on what I've read in the paper, is we got here thanks to Bibi Netanyahu, Lindsey Graham, and Mark Levin. And ultimately President Trump. That's not to take agency away from the president, who was bamboozled. I don't know why. He was too weak to say no. He was too gullible to see through the lie.
Or he's unbelievably pro-Israel and has been since he got $100 million from Sheldon Adelson when he was alive in the 2016 race, where he ended up moving the American embassy to Jerusalem against many decades of American foreign policy not doing that. And then also on top of that, recognize the permanent annexation of Golan Heights, which is Syrian territory, directly at odds with the rest of the world, which no one said a goddamn thing about, and set up the Abraham Accords that completely sidestepped Palestinian sovereignty from the conversation and erased Palestinians from the conversation, normalizing openly and publicly relations between Israel and all the Gulf states. Perhaps that's the reason why. And this is all Trump won. This was all in Trump won. Of course, he was going to be pro-Israel, even in more consequential terms, on Trump too. I said this for years, mind you, which is very frustrating. It's very frustrating to see people who are like, oh, what's happening? I can't believe Trump would do this right now. You're an adult. Act like it. What do you mean? Even at this moment where you're like, I don't know why Trump did this. We know why Trump did this. Trump has always done this. Here's another piece of commentary from Tucker Carlson, reported by Asen, senior digital editor for Midas Touch. 31,000 likes. A lot of liberals leaning into what Tucker Carlson is saying. Anyway, let's take a look.
And it's time not to end it, not to set up an adversarial relationship, but to set up a healthy conventional relationship where Israel can pay its own bills and fund its own military and act within the constraints imposed on it by its own economy and population. That's what normal countries do. Most countries live with neighbors that don't like them, with whom they have testy relationships, but they make accommodations because they have no choice. There's no country in the world that acts with total impunity because it knows a much larger country will backstop it no matter what it does. That just doesn't exist in the natural world because it's not natural. It's grotesque. And it's terrible for the United States. And now it's obvious.
Yeah. I mean, banger. No notes. He's right. He's absolutely right about that.